போதுமா?
அக்கா
ம்.
ஆரம்பிச்ச கிளாஸு.
இல்லை 6 மணிக்கு தான்.
சாத்துக்குடி வேணுமா ஜூஸு?
ம்.
ஹலோ சொல்லுங்கள். ஹலோ சரி 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 சரி. उधर उधर
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? I think there was some echo issue. Now it is resolved, right?
You're audible.
And I hope my slides are also seen as well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We can start today's class then. So, today we will be solving problems based on the week 4 syllabus of the session, which is technical presentation and writing, like some basic guidelines to follow while writing a journal paper or while giving a research presentation, etc. So, let's get started. So, these are just the practice problems so that it will help you to solve your assignment problems. So, how it will work is I'll be going to each question and I'll wait for 2 3 minutes so that you can read and understand the question, and whatever is the answer you can type in the chat box. Once you have typed in the chat box, then we can discuss all the options and find out which is the correct one. Okay, so let's go to the.
Madam, small clarification.
Yes.
These assignments are not for the, unlike in other tests, the assignments are not getting covered into the exam marks system, right?
There is some weightage, I believe. I am not sure how much percentage, but the assignments are graded, I believe.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because I missed to submit my assignments till now. But
Okay.
there I have seen that this is only for practice and not for counting or something like that. I saw a message there in that assignment.
Okay,
So
I'll check with the course once and I'll let you know in the next class.
thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, so I hope you all can see the first question. You can try to read and understand and type the answers in the chat box. And these are more than one correct question. So they may be having one option correct or more than one option correct. You can think based on that.
Suddenly chat boxes.
I can only see 3 responses. What about the others? I'll wait one more minute for the others as well, then we can discuss the solution. So some people have many of you have given option C. Some of you have given option A and B. So let's look at option C first. So option C is saying findings need not be robust.
No,
Uh,
that's wrong.
but I'm not sure why many people have given option C, because
No, by
when
mistake I've given, madam. That is why I immediately mentioned that.
okay, no problem. Yeah, but whenever we are giving our results to a paper, the results have to be robust. That is,
Yes, yes,
we
yes.
have to repeat the experiment many times and make sure that we are getting the same result many times. It should not be a one time thing, it has to be robust. So, option C is not correct. Option A, inform the reader. That is correct. That is the main purpose of a journal article, to communicate our findings. So, option A is correct. And this is what almost all the paper do, informing the reader. But in some of the papers, after informing, they also try to explain the result, why they are getting. So in those cases, the option B, persuading the reader, will also be applicable. Option C is not correct. We just explained that the findings have to be robust. So the correct answer are option A and option B. So the minimal requirement is option A. If we have any new finding, we can share it and just inform the reader. But if it is a good paper, then it will also explain the findings and try to persuade the readers, form a hypothesis about why they have seen that finding. So the correct answers are option A and option B.
What is NOTA?
Oh, that is just none of the above.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Let's go to second question then. This is simple question only, so I can wait for just 1 minute. I hope so. This one, most of you have got option A correct, which is the abstract. That is the like just after the title of the paper, that will come first. And because they are asking at the beginning of the paper and not just what comes first, after abstract, the introduction comes just after that. So the correct answer to this question is abstract and introduction. So the first topmost thing will be the title, below that will be the abstract. So the abstract will have the like a brief line about what the study is about and what are the important results of the study and the important conclusions, so that even if someone has not read the entire paper, they can get the important points from the paper. And after the immediately after the abstract, then the paper will start with the introduction. So the correct answer is abstract and introduction, option A and option D. So if they are asking very first section, then just abstract would be correct. But the question is like in general, beginning means still the introduction of the paper would be the beginning of the paper. Okay.
But madam, in the examination, if the questions are given like this, whether the option will be given to tick more than one?
Yeah, exam also will be having like more than one correct options. And if you so suppose there are two correct answers, but if you give one correct answer only, you will be getting partial marks. But if you mark any wrong option, then you will get 0.
No, but what I'm asking is that in case the question is given like this and under the multiple choice question, whether there will be a scope for us to answer more than one.
Yes, yes. Even the assignment problems are like that, like this only, like more than one correct options are there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go to the third question, next question. So this question is about the abstract that I was just talking about the abstract in the previous question. It is present just after the title of the paper, and it has the important results of the paper, the and like basic information about the study, why the study was performed, what results they got out of the study, and uh, finally the conclusions of the study. So option A is correct. It has the important results. Option B is also correct. It is present right after the title. And option C is not correct. So abstract is usually for people who cannot read the entire paper, but if they read the abstract, they will get a gist of the paper. So option C is not correct. And similarly, option D is also not correct because the important result will definitely be mentioned in the abstract, so that even if someone is not reading the entire paper, if they just read the abstract, they should be able to get the broad overview of the paper. So the important result will be mentioned. So option D is not correct. The correct answer to the third question are option A and option B. Okay, if there are no doubts, we can go to the next question.
Madam, sorry to ask this question.
Yes, yes, go on.
Yeah, going back onto the question number three.
Yes.
See, I mean, technically it may be right, present right after title, but strictly speaking, I mean, the way in which it has been sounding is right after title, the authors and affiliation would be there, no, madam? Of course, I've answered as A and B only, but still
Hmm.
I'm asking you a question because right after the title they are saying, but right after the title, it is the authors and affiliation will be there first.
Yeah, title and I along with the title that will be mentioned, right? Because in the
No,
title itself, the
no,
like
because
that will
in your,
also be on the top with the title itself,
yeah,
and this will come like below that.
yeah, I understand. But when we are saying right after the title, is that right? Because basically, because the author's name and affiliation is also one of the items which we talk about. Like
Hmm.
even in the formatting, also we say how other the title has to be formatted and how others and affiliation has to be formatted, and then
Correct.
comes to the abstract.
Yes, yes, correct. Yeah. After the title, like you're saying, the author names and their affiliations will be mentioned. Then only the abstract will
Absolutely.
come. That is
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this question is about the introduction of the paper. So usually in the introduction, the main idea is that the authors will introduce the field a little bit to the audience, and then they'll say what is known in the field and what is missing in the field, and finally they'll come to the work that they have done, like what they have done to address this gap. So some basically, and also about why it is important to the field. So this is the main like flow of the introduction part of the article. So what is the work done? Yes, after mentioning the research gap in the field, then briefly they'll write about what they have done to address the gap. So option A is correct, and option B is correct, introduction of the work, sorry, importance of the work, that is also correct, because after mentioning what they have done, they'll also write about why they have done it and why it is important. So that is correct. And option C, background of the work done. This is also important in an introduction because not all the readers may be coming from the same background or from the same field. So a brief introduction to the field will be in the introduction section. And option D is not correct. So the results and discussion, those will come later in the paper. So the correct answer is option A, option B, and option C.
Sorry for coming back again. While I agree with you that discussion about the results is not done in detail, but I have read in some places that briefly we need to give something about the results also was told, madam. That is why I was just
Yeah,
asking.
sometimes they, like some authors in some papers, they
Yeah,
just state the important result.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that
that they will
is
discuss the
common.
results, not that they will discuss the
Yeah,
results,
yeah, exactly.
but
Huh.
they highlight the outcome of it.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Yeah, so that way you are right. I mean, discussion about results is what has been written, so that cannot be the answer. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, correct. You're
Thank you, ma'am.
absolutely correct. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the fifth question. So the fifth question is, which of the following are true about sorry, which of the following are true about experimental details mentioned in a journal article? So in research, whatever we do must be reproducible, meaning that if we perform the same experiment, we should get the same result, and at the same time there should be enough in the method section so that others can also replicate our results. Like even in some other lab, if they try to perform the same experiment, then they should also get the same result again. This uh, replicability is a very important point in research. So that's why in the method section it is important to give all the necessary details so that others can also do our experiments and get the same results that we get. So that's why option A is not correct. We have to give proper details. And option B, do not mention all details if you are patenting it. So this is also not correct. Even if there is a patent, we can still give all the details, and the
Madam,
patent
like
will
in lecture, it was
specifically.
told that it is if we are patenting, we can skip some details.
Sorry, can you repeat?
In the or what are lectures, video lectures.
Yeah.
In case of patent, we can hide in the sense we need not give all the details was when we are patenting it.
Yeah,
Can you please confirm?
whatever will be covered by the patent, you mean that?
Yeah. If we are patenting any new result or any invention, then in the paper, necessary things you need not, means what are required for patent, you need not project or something like that.
So then that will be referred by the patent in the paper, or that will just not be
Yeah, yeah,
mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah, that is there. Yes, yes.
Then do not mention all details should be correct only, no?
But that patent will be referred, right? In the
Yes, yes.
yeah, that's why I was explaining.
Okay,
Huh.
got it.
So even if it is directly not mentioned, via the patent it will be mentioned, and that will be protected by the patent. And option C, we have like the results will be there in the result section. And option D, trivial details such as concentration of solution used in the experiment need not be mentioned. Uh, so even these small details like what is the concentration, what is the duration of incubation, what is the temperature of incubation, these small details also has to be mentioned. Only then, if somebody else is trying to replicate the experiment, they can do it. So D is not correct. So the correct answer is C is correct here. I think here I have not marked properly, but C is also correct here. I'll change it when I am uploading the slides, because results has to be mentioned, and option A is not correct, we discussed. Trivial details such as concentration, D is also not correct, we discussed. When I am uploading it, I'll just change it. Let's go to the sixth question.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
So this question is about papers, presenting your work through papers versus presenting your work through a presentation. Option A, there is more flexibility in journal paper than presentation. Mm, so this is not correct because mostly in the presentation the flexibility is more, because according to the audience we can uh, change how we are presenting the paper. And typically in journal papers they have a very strict a format of writing, which sections should be there, how many figures should be there, etc. So the flexibility is less in journal paper. So option A is not correct. And option B, typically only journal papers are peer reviewed. Presentations, even if there is any new result that has not been submitted to a journal, you can still present it like in conferences or any other presentations, like any other research presentation. So option B is not correct. And option C, journal is common for all types of audience, while we can change our presentation based on our audience. Option C is correct. The journal paper will be the same, like there will be just one version uh, which is for all of the people to see. And option D, journal paper is a better way of communicating research than presentation. That is not correct. Like both journal paper and presentation have advantages and disadvantages. So we cannot say that one is better or the other is better. So only option C is correct here. And I'll just quickly go back to the fifth question, because yeah, this is correct only. C cannot be correct because they are asking which of the following are true about experimental details. So when we are writing about the experimental details, there we don't write about the results. That will be in a separate section. So this fifth one is correct only. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that, because results will be mentioned but it won't be mentioned with the experimental details. That's why. Let's go to the next question now.
Madam, in question 5, I am still having doubt why results obtained from the experiments performed are not mentioned. It is not written, it is a discussion thing or result which part of journal article. in journal article, results obtained from the experiments performed should be given, no?
In the fifth question, they are asking about the experimental details. So the when we are talking about the experimental details, there itself we won't write the result. Like
Oh,
we
okay,
will
okay.
just say that
Got.
we have
Yeah, yeah.
used these conditions, but results we won't write there. That's why. So this question is about presenting our work through a PowerPoint or any kind of presentation. So option A, animation should be limited to important information. That is correct, because if it is there in many, if we use too much animation, then the audience may be confused. Option B, more information in the slide the better. If there is more information in the slide, then once again the audience will be confused. Option C, it is enough to just read from the slide. So reading from the slide, that is not just enough, because then the audience may not be able to connect with us. Option C, slide can be incomplete since presenter can fill in missing information while presenting. This option is also not correct. All of the slides have to be complete, whether or and if there is scope for the audience to fill in, then it would only lead to chaos. So only option A is correct here.
While technicality I cannot discuss on this particular thing, madam, but in a practical situation, maybe the meaning of that D is a little different. The seventh question.
Madam, you are muted, I think. We're not able to hear.
Hello. Yeah, I think now I am unmuted. So this question is about the abstract and the conclusion section, how they are both different. So by conclusion, like they also conclusion similar to the discussion section, like after the result section. Uh, Option A is correct because the conclusion section or the discussion section comes after the result section. So the reader has already the background of the paper and what all experiments were done and what results were done. So here they can go into more detail and there is more flexibility. Option B, future perspectives are discussed in abstract. This is not correct because typically the future directions will come after discussing the results in the typically towards the end of the discussion section, towards the end of the paper itself. And option C is also not correct because sometimes uh, in the discussion or conclusion section the authors will uh, talk about the important results once again and they will try to explain it, so it will be mentioned again. C is not correct. D, jargon and abbreviations can be used in abstract but not in conclusion. D is also not correct because it is best, like the best practice would be to avoid jargon and abbreviations in both, but definitely not in the abstract. In the conclusion section, it is still understandable because at least the reader has gone through the rest of the paper and they may be able to understand the jargon and abbreviations. But since the abstract is standalone, in the abstract, it is not advisable to use jargon and abbreviation. So the correct answer to the eighth question is option A. Okay, let's go to the ninth question. This one most of you have got right. The correct answer is option C. The question is, what are some good rules of language to be followed in writing a journal article? Using language poetically. This is not correct. Like, this is more of a formal, we have to use formal writing and not creative writing format. Option B, long sentences to convey more information. This is also not correct, because if we use long sentences, the reader may be confused. Also, even if the sentence is long, doesn't mean that it will be having more information. So, option B is not correct. Option C, write in a clear cut and straightforward way. This is the correct option. We have to write it in a clear way so that it is easy for the readers to understand. Option C, it is okay to use phrases such as it is obvious. So, this is also not correct, because whatever in research papers, whatever is there, we have to explain why we are saying it. We cannot use statements such as it is obvious. We have to provide uh, the reasoning or the context for the statement. So the correct answer to the ninth question is only option C. Write in a clear cut and straightforward way. Okay, let's go to the last question for today. So this is about the results and discussion section. So in the result section, we just write what result we got. Like, we just write about that. We don't try to explain that, etc. So it is just a factual statement. Option A is correct. And the interpretation of the results that we get, that comes in the discussion section. So option B is correct. Discussion is about interpretation of the results obtained. Option C, discussion is an opinion. This is not exactly correct, because uh, it's more about scientific reasoning that is done in the discussion section, and like, not just any opinion basically.
But it is not written any opinion. The discussion is an opinion. It is correct only opinion on the result. So it should be right. Like discussion is merely an opinion, then it is wrong. But discussion is an opinion is a correct statement.
Opinion is not exactly the correct word, because opinion may or may not be with the scientific basis, right? That's why it is not correct. Okay, and option D, Discussion can be in chronological order only. So discussion based on the results that we get, we can put together the results in like different order in order to explain them. So option D is also not correct. Only A and B are correct. So today's slides as well as recording will be shared. It is not. Yeah, so these links will be uploaded on the NPTEL portal as well. If you want, you can get them here. I can also send you the link in the chat box. So if any of you have missed the class, or if you have any internet connection, you can check it here. So this will have the folder with all the presentations, and the recording of today's session will be uploaded on this YouTube playlist, so you can, if you missed anything, you can get it there as well. So we have discussed all the 10 problems for today. If you don't have any doubts, you can feel free to leave the meeting. If you have any doubts, or if you have joined late and if you want to see the questions again, then I am available here till 8 o'clock, so you can stay back and we can discuss once again. If you don't have any doubts, you can feel free to leave the meeting, because we are done with the 10 questions for today. Those who have doubts or those who have joined late, you can stay back. So I'll just be showing the questions from the beginning. If any of you have any doubt, you can stop me there and we can discuss it. I'll just show all the questions and the solution slides as well.
Can I ask doubt about the assignment given?
And the Google Drive folder link that I gave is working for everyone, right? You can check there. The same slides are available in that folder.
have a question.
Abstract is the beginning one, and then introduction.
Yeah. In beginning of a journal paper, it should be the abstract. Why introduction is also answered.
చెప్పినమ్మా
ఏమో వీక్ కదా.
first thing my mind thought was. Well, Europe has way more people than the US, which it does, especially continental Europe, which has around 750 million people, which, I guess that most Americans would get that wrong.